Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Tuesday afternoon. We are less than a week from the January 20th inauguration day of Trump. And we have a lot going on. We have fog still. We have drones. We have fires. We have an inauguration day coming up. We got a lot of other things flying around in the news, threats, this and that, and Trump and not, and Biden. And when it really comes down to it, the struggle is real. When it really comes down to it is what's affecting you, what your day to day, and that struggle for many of us. I'm going to go into that because I've been thinking about it. And why I believe it's just as important as ever to keep preparing as we go deeper into 2025, y'all. Right? I also have a terrific passage I will share with you towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. First, I saw a while ago that there is a big blast of Arctic air, another big blast coming through that's going to cover most of the nation, except for, it looks like, maybe southern Florida, maybe central southern Florida. And it's due to come in, and it's going to hit big time in this deep south where we are as well. And so keep up your winter preps, your cold weather preps. I believe what I saw earlier a while ago was that this weekend, starting this weekend and into Sunday night and Monday, by the 20th or before, we're going to see the coldest air of the winter so far, at least where we are. Now, I don't know about the rest of you. A lot of you are probably already dealing with this stuff in the north or in Midwest and such, but keep up with that. Our cold weather preparations, your home and your automobile. All right. But yeah, we got all kinds of things still going around. The struggle is real, y'all. When you really, I kind of get the feeling sometimes that all these stories, from the fires to the drones to the Panama Canal, we want to take over the Panama Canal, we want to take over Greenland, Trump wants to do this, the Bitcoin that, and it's just throwing so much at you, and you're just trying to keep up with a little bit and pick out what's really important, what's not as important. At least I do that. I know a lot, And what remains is that with the struggle is still real for 80, 90% of us or more. Only about 17% of households make over $100,000 a year, y'all. Average credit card debt balance is over $8,000 in the United States for Americans. In America, well over 50% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Now, I believe it's higher than that. I believe it's closer to 70% personally. The average age of a first-time home buyer is 38 years old, and it might be more than that, actually. Think about that. And I've been on this earth almost 60 years, and when I was even in my late 20s, mid to late 20s, if you just worked full-time, and made decent, you didn't have to make a lot of money. It was very attainable to buy a home. Now, granted, it wasn't a mansion by any means, but it was a 3-bedroom, 1.5 or 2 bath home, or even smaller. Very, very attainable, actually. Now, forget about it. Forget about it. You got to be knocking down the big money. On top of that, you got to be able to put down a big deposit, and no telling what the interest rate is. I can't imagine. Homes, automobiles, outrageous now. Average new vehicle now is almost $50,000, y'all. That's insane. Insane. Used vehicles out or through the roof as well. Noticing a trend? Yes. The struggle is certainly real. Employment, the economy, the border, cost of living. And I know people are excited about Trump coming in. I am too. And I have that. I do have an optimism. How can you not have some optimism after the last 4 years? I mean, it was between he and that thing that's in the office still, I guess, in office still now at this moment. I mean, if you're voting, and I voted, I mean, that was a no-brainer. You had to vote. You're voting Trump. And I am cautiously optimistic. I really am. I was inspired that the bullet missed him. And, he gets up and says, fight. And he gets right, that was a huge moment. But he has a huge challenge ahead of him. And I think we should give it time. Judge actions more than words. But I'm a little concerned about all the stuff flying around. Like, I want Greenland, I want Iceland, not Iceland, but Greenland, Iceland, I want the Panama Canal, I'll take it by force. I'm not ruling out by force. I'm, this and that. I'm going to stop all the wars before I take office, and this and that. All hell's going to break loose, and I'm going to disclose what's going on with the drones on day 1 or 2. I hope so. That's a lot of promises. We need to prepare, though. We need to keep our preparations up, because I just have this feeling that things are not going to change so quickly. I mean, really. When it really comes down to it, let's think about it. For an overwhelming majority of us, it really comes down to your day-to-day, your cost of living, your food, your gas, your housing, your insurance, basic cost of living. This Dawg and I went out a little bit this past weekend, over the last week, filling in some preps and all. And I'm not exaggerating. Prices haven't even stabilized on food or other provisions. They keep going up. They keep going up. Food, gas, insurance, housing, utilities, everything. Automobile maintenance, any kind of maintenance done. An entire generation has been priced out of a home. I know, I have to repeat that. It's just insane. You have to have help. Even if you make good money, you got to have help for, you got to have financial help for that. To even have a shot at it. Let's try to stay focused on what affects us. What can you control? How can you keep preparing? How can you increase just a little bit of a measure of self-sufficiency? Be planning that gardening. Be planning that garden. Plan it, and keep, be ready. We have an inauguration day, like I said, coming up. There are concerns about that. Can you imagine the security that will be available, that will be going on about that, hopefully? There's a lot of chatter about threats, adversarial, foreign threats, as well as, I'll just say, threats within. And I believe that is very real as well. I believe we should keep our awareness top shelf going into the rest of this week, into this weekend. Wouldn't shock me if some shenanigans happen leading up to the 20th. I mean, really, think about it. It's huge. And there are a lot of powerful people that have something to lose, that don't like the change that is coming, that is being made here. So let's keep our awareness top shelf about that as well. But the main thing, I believe, the main thing is our preparation, starting with spiritual, of course. But I think the main message is, and I'm guilty of it, is just getting kind of strung out in the weeds over all the other stories and what's going on with that, and can I get more details on this and that, and oh, by the way, I just spent $50 filling up the gas tank. And it's like a reality, or I went to buy groceries and it's a reality hit. Like, okay, it's still expensive. That's not changing. Hasn't changed. Is it going to change a month from now? Is it going to change by March? I don't know. You don't know. Therefore, let's keep our preparations going. That's the main thing I want to get across here, is to stay focused. Because I believe their goal for them is to throw so much at you, throw so much stuff at you, keep you off balance, off kilter, unhealthy, stressed, alone, isolated. That you can't focus. Oh, I went and buy groceries. Oh man, I'm just almost kind of used to paying this much money. No, we shouldn't be paying this much for money for stuff. You see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. It's like a psych job. And the stuff that's being fed to us, it seems like a lot of times it's like I said yesterday, I feel like a rat in a maze sometimes. It feels like it's all a stage at times, you know? So I do hope he tells us what's going on in the skies, or at least I'll be interested to hear the explanation. Whether I believe it or not, I don't know, but I'm curious about that. But yeah, for the most people, for the average Joe, which most of us are, average Joe and Jane, most of us, not all of us, it comes down to the economy, the border, freedoms, your basic freedoms, cost of living. Can you put gas in the vehicle, buy groceries, pay the bills, pay your insurance, get your medications, go get your health care? Can you cover all that in a month? More and more people cannot. They're having to make tough choices. And that's really what it comes down to, right? I'm not so concerned about the talk of Greenland right now. I mean, it's kind of entertaining in a way. I don't care in a way, too. I care about covering the bills and being able to save a little bit of money. Hello? What do y'all think? I'm going to do a passage because I'm going in a circle rant. I feel like I'm going to go in a circle ranting here. Anyway, share your thoughts on these things. I'm going into Isaiah. I think this was the Bible app of the day, verse of the day, I think. Either that or I just went right to it for some reason. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 13 says, "For I am the Lord your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you. Do not fear, I will help you." I don't know if I've even read that verse before, but another one that says, essentially, do not fear, do not be afraid, do not be anxious. I have you. I'm holding you. Allow him to hold you. And develop that relationship. We need it, and we're going to need it more than ever. I truly believe that. Stay close to Jesus. Let's be aware. Let's keep our preps up. Spiritual, all the way down to your food, your water, your provisions, medical, security. You know the drill. Let's stay aware. We got an interesting week ahead of us, I do believe. A little more interesting than usual. And stay close to Jesus. God bless y'all. I will see you soon.